Number 18. The disappearing ball. In 1981, at a game between the Oakland Athletics and the Cleveland Indians, the stadium witnessed a curious case of a disappearing ball. Rick Manning hit a routine fly ball, and much to his delight, it would soon disappear off the field. None of the outfielders could even spot the ball as it flew off, much less find it. All this left Manning open to complete a home run. It would later be found that the ball had not disappeared by a magical act, but was rather stuck in a drainage pipe. Number 17. The Bartman ball. The Chicago Cubs became rather infamous in the 2000s over their attempts to break out of their rut. It seemed like they were just about to do it too, and reached the World Series during the 2003 National League Championship Series. But here a fan named Steve Bartman interfered with a foul ball, preventing a catch from being made. As luck would have it, this was the only thing that was needed for them to collapse, making the name of the Bartman ball. A curse on the tongue of every Cubs fan in the process. Number 16. The shot heard round the world. One of the more iconic moments on the list. In 1951, it was Bobby Thompson of the New York Giants who secured his team a place in the World Series, all by hitting a 3-run home run off of the Brooklyn Dodgers. This shot heard round the world would make Bobby Thompson a sensation overnight and made it perhaps the most iconic moment of his career. Number 15. Rickey Henderson's base-stealing record. Base stealing is a spectacle in baseball that goes unmatched in any other sport. And on May 1st, 1991, fans got to witness exactly this spectacle as Rickey Henderson broke Lou Brock's career record. Rickey Henderson had just swiped his 939th base. In celebration, the game was paused, giving a moment to Henderson as he chanted to the crowd, "Today, I'm the greatest of all time."
Rickey goes, a pitch ticket, he's going to have it. He does! Rickey Henderson representing number 939.
I'm the greatest of all time.
Number 14. The Disco Demolition Night. Disco and baseball don't mix, as you'll see multiple times on this list. A Chicago White Sox game proved exactly this on July 12, 1979, as a promotion went awry, causing the entire game to be scrapped. The Chicago White Sox encouraged fans to bring disco records to the match to blow up during games. But the records being blown up soon started to cause chaos, and fans started to storm the field, causing the entire game to be called off. Number 13. The Pine Tar Incident. You've heard of teams being accused of cheating, but what about being accused of having too much pine tar? This is exactly what George Brett of the Kansas City Royals was accused of during a 1983 game against the Yankees. After Brett hit a home run, the manager of the Yankees, Billy Martin, challenged the hit due to Brett's bat having excessive pine tar. Surprisingly, the umpire sided with Billy Martin, and George Brett stormed off the field, being denied his home run. Number 12. The Merkle boner. Ever heard of early celebrations? What about celebrations when the match is still going on and you're going to be needed to run a home run? This is exactly what Fred Merkle did during a game between the New York Giants and the Chicago Cubs in a 1908 game. Merkle was holding first base when his teammates scored a single. Instead of going to second base, he started celebrating, thinking the game was won. This led to the Cubs retrieving the ball and forcing him out by touching second base. This premature celebration would cost the Giants the game and make Merkle's early celebrations a running joke in the daily trades. Number 11. Harvey Haddix's perfection denied. Imagine how hard it is to throw a single perfect inning. Well, perhaps someone should have taught how difficult it was to Harvey Haddix of the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1959, when he threw 12 perfect innings against the Milwaukee Braves. His luck, or rather skill, would run out in the 13th inning, however, as his bid for a perfect game was ended. Regardless, the performance of Haddix still stands as a monumental record. Number 10. The imperfect perfect game. In another botched perfect game. In 2010, Detroit pitcher Armando Galarraga was a single run away from a perfect game. This was when he was hit by a blown call and his hopes shattered. Turns out, baseball doesn't hold its punches, no matter how good your game is going.
Galarraga covers! He's out! No! He's safe! See right here.
Why is he safe?
Number 9. The balk-off. You read that right. Remember the walk-off homer? Epic. The walk-off single? Classic. But the walk-off balk. Now that's something you don't see every day. In 2013, Tampa Bay pitcher Joel Peralta did the unthinkable. With the bases loaded, he got called for a balk, and the winning run scored. Talk about an anticlimactic walk-off. Baseball's rulebook strikes again. Number 8, disco ball, delays the game. It's 1976 in Chicago's Comiskey Park. There's an intense game going on between the White Sox and the Tigers. All spectators on edge when a loud crash halts the entire game. What could be more interesting to the entire field of spectators than the game? A disco ball had not been rigged properly and fell from the ceiling. Luckily, no one was hurt, as the match was stopped to clear the stadium of any hazards. We told you disco and baseball don't mix. Number 7, the mysterious rabbit ball era. The 1930s marked an exceptional time in baseball history when the run rates of teams hit the roof. This whole phenomenon confounded observers of the time, as they could not point out a single reason why run rates had suddenly gone up by much. Many fingers were pointed to the balls being employed in matches, but even then, no specific reason could be pointed out. From the balls being wound tighter to different materials being used in the making, many culprits have been pointed to for the rabbit ball era. Number 6, the rainout without rain. Rainouts are not an uncommon sight in baseball, and many games have to bear their brunt. But imagine your surprise when you show up to the game. The sun shining down on you as you take your seat, and the game is called off due to rain. The kicker? There's not a single cloud in the sky. This is what happened in 1979 in a game between the White Sox and Tigers, leaving many fans agitated as the umpires declared unplayable field conditions from a wet spot in the stadium. Number 5, the case of the disappearing glove. Gloves are an essential tool in the arsenal of any player, especially for making catches. Yet Ben Oglivie, playing for the Brewers in 1982, proved that these were not needed one bit as his glove flew off his hand while he was running after a fly ball. Oglivie, though, decided to stick to his gun, caught it with his bare hands, and threw it back, showing that the best tool a player has is himself. The umpires let the play stand, and this only added to the legend of Oglivie. Number 4, Randy Johnson versus the Avian Apocalypse. Baseball fields have played the stage to the demolition of many a team, but in 2001, a suicidal avian fellow would join this list too, in the literal sense. When Randy Johnson was practicing for spring training, a bird just decided to fly directly into the ball the moment it left Randy's hands. Suicidal, the collision of the ball and the bird left the entire field in a mess of feathers and bones. Number 3, the infamous 4-base era. Baseball can be a cruel mistress, and sometimes the only way to explain things is with a good old-fashioned yikes. Back in 1912, during the World Series, Fred Snodgrass of the Giants dropped a routine fly ball. No big deal, right? Wrong. The Red Sox runner messed up, thinking Snodgrass caught it and jogged back to first. Snodgrass, seeing the runner wasn't on second, threw the ball there anyway. The result? A 4-base error, a massive swing in momentum, and a victory for the Red Sox. This blunder became a cautionary tale for outfielders everywhere. Always assume the runner thinks you're Superman, even if you are not. Number 2, the rain delay dance-off. Baseball can be the most entertaining game on earth when things are going fast and there's not a moment to breathe. Unfortunately, these moments are often spoiled by the mortal enemy of baseball, rain delays. This is exactly what happened in a match between the Cubs and Nationals. Their solution to this? Entertain the entire stadium with a dance-off and give them their money's worth, at least until the balls started flying again. Number 1, Bill Veeck launches a baseball. Into space? Bill Veeck is the name you think of when you think of weird baseball stories. And this was no different as he decided to launch a ball into space. Well, that's how he billed it. Rather, this was just him launching it with fireworks, but props for the imagination.